Hey y'all, so I'm at the shop today and I'm busting my tail trying to get this place open by next Friday. And I'm to the point now where I have got to work on furniture pieces. So I'm gonna do that in today's video. I've got 3 different furniture pieces that need some upcycling. So I'm gonna show you guys what I have and we're gonna get started on fixing them up. So these have been in my basement for a year or longer and I've been meaning to get them done, haven't done it. This whole room, which nothing's fixed right now, I just kind of threw some stuff in here. This is gonna be like a bedroom setup type thing. Over there I have the kitchen, you know, so these are mid-century modern. They are in pretty good shape, really nice dressers. The tops are pretty scratched up and they have a little bit of a funky smell to them. But I love the feet on them. They're brass. I gotta get them cleaned up. And I am thinking about painting the tops and the sides and everything but the drawers bayberry, a fusion color. And leaving maybe, I don't know if I'm going to sand the drawers down. I want to see how the color that they are now looks with the bayberry, so I may leave them the same. I've got to find, I know I do have that other pull somewhere, and all of these pulls need some cleaning and fixing up. And this one has a mirror. I'll probably paint it green as well. So I got those 2 pieces, and then over here, this one has been in my storage unit for, I don't know, 6-7 months. And I want to put it here. It's going to hold a new product that I hopefully will have coming in soon. This one's super dirty. I got it off Marketplace and it was just really dirty when I got it. I'm probably not going to fix this one up to sell. It's going to be more for display, but we'll see. So I got to get all the hardware off, clean this up, and get it painted. And I might put a transfer on this one, and I haven't decided on a color yet. So let's start getting everything cleaned up and prepped. This tall dresser did have a spot where the veneer had peeled. I just, flaked off the excess, and since I'm going to paint it, it's going to be an easy fix. I'm just going to wood putty over that, let it dry, sand it smooth, and then when it's dry, we'll be able to paint over it. These were not real dirty because they've been in my basement, so I've wiped them down a few times and, been, moving around them a lot and doing stuff. But I'm using Crud Cutter just to get anything off, and Crud Cutter does need to be wiped off as well. So I'll rinse my rag really good and go back over them 2 times, just making sure I'm getting all the grime and the dirt off of them. I had been to a doctor's appointment and I remembered that I do have some paint clothes here at the store. So in a minute, I'm going to change out of my good clothes before I start painting, because y'all know what a messy painter I am. So the wood putty's dry, so I'm just going to sand over that to get it smooth with a little sanding block. And then I'll wipe it clean and we're going to start painting. I have chosen to use Bayberry. This is Fusion Mineral Paint. It's an all-in-one paint. Never used this green color, but I have loved it. And I've also never used one of the Fusion application sponges. And let me tell y'all, this is a game changer when it comes to furniture. If you don't like brush strokes, this works perfectly. It uses minimal amount of paint and it goes on so easy. And I can see myself using these sponges a lot now. It made super quick work of the first coat, and I did just have to go in with a detail brush to get all the other areas of the dresser. If you've got a project that you want to try this technique out on, I do have applicator sponges and the bayberry and all the fusion products available on my website, susieonthefarm.com. I did decide to go ahead and paint the louvered top drawers in the bayberry too. There was a few scratches on these that I wasn't sure that I could repair, so I just painted them, and I think that that looked really great in the end. Okay, I don't know if y'all can tell on camera here, but I'm trying to decide what to do with these bottom drawers, and I used some antiquing glaze on this one because there's a few little scratches and stuff. So it kind of hid those scratches and just really shined it up. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do all these and leave these drawers natural. I thought about doing a wash on them, but I really love that natural color with the bayberry. So I'm going to put one more coat on the top of both of these, but they're looking good. I just got to get the hardware cleaned up and done. Another coat on the top. I've got to paint the little gold accents down there and get the hardware painted, and this set will be done. Oh, I forgot, I do have the mirror for that to paint still. For the hardware, I am just going to use some antique gold rub and buff. This stuff's so easy to use. I'm also going to touch up those areas down, those little accent areas down on the bottom with a little bit of the gold rub and buff. And then I'm going to, I did soak all this hardware overnight in the crock pot and scrubbed it so they're clean, even though they don't look like it. And this rub and buff's real easy to get on here. Didn't take me but a few minutes to do all of them. And I also never found the other pull, so I had to go to the store to find something that matched the holes because I didn't want to fill the holes. So I got something that was close enough match, and I put them in the center, and I kind of like the difference in them. But if I find the other pull, I can go ahead and, replace them. And then finally, to finish this project off, the top drawers all had a few stains in them. The bottom drawers were perfect, so I didn't mess with them, but I am going to put some coordinating contact paper. I actually had this in my stash, and the design on it is almost the exact same green as this bayberry. I'm not real good at this, but I just measured the length and the width, cut the pieces, and once you get them cut to the right size, it's real easy to apply them. Project is finished. I paid Well, I paid $250 for these two dressers and a really big mid-century modern hutch that is mine. I'm keeping. It's in the basement, so the hutch was absolutely worth the $250. So I'm gonna say that I paid $150 for these two, and I'm probably gonna sell them for $657 as a set, and I think they turned out absolutely beautiful. Mid-century modern is a great seller. It's not necessarily always my style, but I know that a lot of people love it, and I love this green color. So the second dresser was not nearly in as good a shape as that one. I did only pay $50 for this one, and I didn't plan on selling it, but by the time I finished with it, it was so beautiful that I may end up selling it if someone wants it. We will see. I did decide to go ahead and sand all the fronts of the drawers and the top of the dresser down to the bare wood. I could have stripped these, but I find that really messy, and believe it or not, I really enjoy sanding. It's just satisfying to me. It took me probably about an hour to get all this sand. I took a few breaks and did some other stuff in between. I started out with an 80 grit sandpaper to get, the gunk off, and I did have to change my pad out a few times. But I did eventually get everything all cleaned up, and then I went back over it with a 220 just to smooth it out, make it really nice and smooth and uniform. Got down to the bare wood on all of this, I decided to use the Fusion finishing oil and stain. This is the color Cappuccino. I've used this on a small or two before, but this is the first time I'm using it on a furniture piece. So I'm just familiarizing myself with how it works. It's basically just like a stain. So I put it on with a natural bristle brush, and I almost freaked out just a little bit when I first started using it because it looked absolutely black, which is not the look that I was going for. But I was committed at this point, so I kept going. I got it all on there, hoping that it will lighten up when it dries, and I also have to wipe back the excess. And it absolutely did. When it dried, it looked so, so, so beautiful on this wood. And on these drawer fronts, if I got some on the part that I had not sanded down to the original wood, I just took a wipe and easily wiped that off because I am going to paint those, so I didn't want there to be any oil or anything on there. Okay, after it's dried, I brought it back in, and now I've decided to paint the dresser in Algonquin. First time using this color too, and a lot of times people will do a wash with this, but I'm going to go full strength on it. It's hard to describe this color. I think it's like a taupey. It's got a bit of I think a gray undertone, maybe a green, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful color. It reminds me of drop cloth just a little bit, and I was just real careful going around the edges. I ended up doing 2 coats of paint on this entire dresser, and for whatever reason that middle drawer will not come out. I don't know what happened. I couldn't find a nail, so I just went ahead and tightened it up, put a couple of finishing nails in it, and we're just going to make it not a drawer. I didn't feel like fighting with it, and at this point, I'm not planning on selling this anyway, so there's plenty of drawer space for any storage that I need. I'm using the Stallmeister pointed sash, the smallest one that I have here, and it was perfect for going around this detail. And if I did get any paint on the stained area, I just immediately took a wet rag and wiped it back. Decided I don't like this, and I've checked on my molds. I don't really have anything big enough to go over it, so I'm going to fill it with putty and maybe paint over it and put a transfer on it. Also means it will be another day. This next morning, all the paint is on here and dry. My putty's dry. All I have left to do is the hardware and sanding off this excess putty. I'm just going to do that with a little sanding block, real easy to do. And I'm going to wipe it back down to make sure I have all the excess dust off it. Then I'm going to give the whole front of that drawer 2 coats of the Algonquin. And then I'll have to pick out a transfer for it. Oh, I also wanted to seal all of the raw wood. That finishing oil, it is a finishing. You don't have to put anything over it. But just for my peace of mind, because I'm going to be moving things around on this a lot, I gave it a couple of coats of a matte clear sealer. I think this is the Fusion matte clear sealer. And for the hardware, I decided to go ahead and keep the original hardware that came with it. And there was a couple missing, even with that drawer that wouldn't open. So I had to get creative with some other stuff that I had in my stash. And you can't even tell the difference once they're all painted the same color. I'm using a matte hammered, like a gray black. It's just a spray paint that I had in my stash. And for the transfer, this is from the Brocante book, and it had I don't know, just the lines in it and everything reminded me of the fancy handles and all. So I just lined it up in the center, and it was real easy to put on here as long as you wait for your paint to dry. The Fusion paint has a built-in sealer, so as long as you let it dry really good, these transfers go on so easy. And I just rub with the tool that comes with them and slowly lift up, and you can tell when your image transfers onto your piece. And then once you get it all transferred on, you'll just want to take your plastic backing there and burnish it in really good. Rub over all of it to make sure everything has made good contact and is stuck down really well. I do also have all the IOD available on my website, susieonthefarm.com. And come Friday, they will be available at 851 Alabama Highway 69. The address is Hanceville, Alabama, but it's in Dodge City. And this one is done. I'm so happy to have these done, and this one turned out so so much better than I thought it was going to. I love that stain with this color, and this is going to be a perfect addition to my shop. I'm so glad to have these done, and I hope that y'all have enjoyed this video and seeing these furniture flips. I'll be back Friday with some more thrift flips, and next Friday I would love for you to join me at 9 a.m. I know that's not a great time, but that's really the only time that I knew that the store would be ready and I would have a few minutes to do a live shop tour. I'm going to do my very first live here on YouTube, and then I'll get Facebook figured out and do some lives over there. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you on Friday.